a kid, during the summer, USA Networks was a kind of bargain basement cable channel. Not like it is today where they have the original series and all that crap. In the 90s, they basically had USA Up All Night, where they showed B to Z grade movies on Friday and Saturday. But occasionally throughout the week, they would show some, edited for television, but sort of sex comedies of the late 70s and early 80s. And one of the films that they showed so much that I probably watched this movie like 50 times when I was a kid is Porky's. Porky's 2, and Porky's Revenge or something like that, which was Porky's 3. They aired back to back a lot. And I just remember every time it was on, I would watch it. I didn't get all the jokes. I didn't really always know what was going on, but I always watched it. Porky's is a Bob Clark film, the same guy who did A Christmas Story and Black Christmas. He did Baby's Genius. So Bob Clark is sort of instrumental, and this was the film that sort of cemented him and put him on the map, and actually was such a huge hit that it got him the ability to do A Christmas Story, which is a much more family-oriented film. This is a sex comedy. It has Kim Cattrall in it. She shows her ass and her vag. Well, her bush, not so much her ass. But, and there's a lot of nudity in it. If you've never heard of Porky's, but you love kind of, it's sort of what American Pie is to sort of, I guess, like my generation, what American Pie was, that sort of young people sort of dealing with sexuality and stuff, and like a high school type movie. Because basically what it is it's about these guys in high school in the 50s, and they want to get laid. So they go to this sort of redneck bar on the outs, like in this sort of swamp, because it's set in Florida. And they heard that this guy named Porky, who's this big fat guy who owns the bar, has hookers. And they go there to buy hookers, and he humiliates them and runs them out of this little town. And Alex Karras, who was the father on Webster, and actually Susan Clark, who was the mother on Webster, but is no relation to Bob Clark. Alex Karras recently passed away. But this was sort of his sort of introduction, and I think that's where they met. I think Susan Clark and him met on this. They eventually got married, and they started as a husband and wife on Webster, which I fucking loved as a kid. Because I think it was in reruns by that time. But this was basically that. They go there, and then this one kid keeps going back, and they're sort of all trying to get laid, and some of the pranks that they play, and then there's a fucking fat-ass female teacher who's a real bitch, and they spy on girls in the shower, and all of those things. And then in the end they try and fuck Porky in the ass, figuratively, not literally. It's just a really good kind of fun movie that if you love American Pie and you can appreciate sort of a subtler version of that, not so like in your face, but sort of like, it's kind of dad or grandfather of that, I think you'll love Porky's. It doesn't have a lot of special features on it. It does have a commentary. It does have a Porky's Through the Peephole, Bob Clark Looks Back, and Porky's A Comedy Classic featurette, which features like, it has these two comedians. One is who basically just just basically bring up moments in Porky's and go like, wasn't that funny? And they talk about it. It's really fucking hard to get through, because basically it's like, remember this one part? That was funny. When we were kids and you saw Bush, that was funny. That was amazing. And you're just like, okay. Not really adding anything to the movie. You're just talking about parts of it that you like. This is a classic. Remember when she showed her bush and she did this thing, and you're like, yeah, I remember that. Just watched it. That was great, wasn't it? Yeah, thanks, comedians. Anyways, it's a Walmart exclusive if you live in the U.S. I don't know if it's out anywhere else. But if you love American Pie and those kinds of movies, and you can appreciate a slightly softer version of that, set in the early 80s, or, well, made in the early 80s, but set in the 50s, sort of like, I tell you what it's like. It's a combination of American Graffiti and American Pie. That's really what it is. And set in Florida. It's really good. I really, really liked it, and I think you should check it out. The picture quality is actually really good. It's a 4-star. The audio, I think it only comes with a DTS Master Audio 1.0, which is mono. It is what it is. I wouldn't really suggest putting it in surround sound, but for a kind of $10 release, definitely check out Porky's. All right, till next time, peace.